All right, taping this late Thursday afternoon, East Coast time. I'm on my second coffee of the day. Dunkin' Donuts, not a sponsor. I don't think they've ever, I don't know why. I don't know how much Dunkin' Donuts I need to drink before they sponsor something. But anyway, Dunkin' Donuts.
You'd think by now, I mean, seriously. I mean, it makes
honestly,
sense.
Those ungrateful jerks, they should, something. I should have the Dunkin' Donuts studio by now. Instead, I have the Aspiration Dome in my back house now. Aspiration Studios. J. Kyle, man.
What's up?
Nobody knows more about the draft classes and the rookies. And I mentioned this on Tuesday's pod that I really love the rookies this year. And it's so different than last year. And we did a little Dylan Harper stuff and we did some flag stuff, obviously, and some Knipple. But I really wanted a deep dive. I thought this was worth an entire segment. I want to start with Harper as the second pick. I talked about him Tuesday that he just jumped out of the TV to me immediately. Like, holy shit, this guy's ready to be something now. Size, hit the body, the lefty, real patience already. Seems like he could play off the ball or with the ball. And I was just blown away. And I don't know whether that was too small of a sample size, but what did you see with Dylan Harper?
Well, watching him in this context, and we can get to Ace Bailey, I guess, in a little bit too. It's a similar thing. Is that they've just played in a crowded elevator offense last year at Rutgers. I didn't blame the coach. I didn't blame any of those people. They had major roster turnover that was super heavy, and none of their teammates really drew any respect. So the thing that popped to me immediately when I'm watching Dylan in these first few games is just. He had a play where he got a back cut for a wide open layup, and I was surprised they didn't call timeout and just be like, Dylan, that's what a wide open layup off of a cut feels like. Like,
right? He had enjoy to be, this, savor this.
He had to be because you just didn't. I was looking back at his synergy stats, and I was like, he never got wide open cuts, and Ace was always playing in the crowd too. So I think he's probably enjoying that. But there's a little bit of some of these guys who are like crazy downhill talents. You mentioned his poise in the paint. Number one, I don't think that I was thinking back about it. I was like, I don't think that I have watched a more talented scoring guard with like poise in the paint since probably Shea in 18. Like Shea was just a layup monster. And I think Dylan's a little bit different in that Shea was a little more angular, slithery. He's added some of that physical stuff. The big shoulder bumps. I don't want to piss off OKC fans, but that stuff he's developed. But Dylan already kind of plays that way. He's really, really physical. And they already had some plays where he wasn't even cutting. He was almost catching it like he was on like a jet sweep, and he'd get into the lane, and he's so physical. And Wemby draws so many eyes that you can already just kind of see, will he be able to knock down open jumpers? That'll be a thing, but he's going to be able to roam and add a lot of value, even if he's not their like primary, even if he doesn't get a whole lot of primary, point guard reps for them.
This is the Bill Simmons podcast presented by FanDuel. If you're betting on the NFL, come on. FanDuel is the place to do it. They've got everything. Same game parlays, quick bets for when you want to jump in live your way so you can set your own lines on just about anything. The app's fast. It's easy to use. And best of all, when you win, you get paid instantly. I've been in Boston, Massachusetts recently. Guess what I did? Use FanDuel. Super fun. Download the FanDuel app or go to FanDuel.com/BS to get started. Must be 21 plus, present in select states, 18 plus in D.C., Kentucky, and Wyoming. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit rg-help.com. Call 888-789-777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut. Yeah, I think the overthink for me this summer was just thinking about the right roster around Wemby. And all right, now you have Fox and Castle and Harper. None of those guys are knockdown shooters. And that was kind of the glass half empty. And then you watch all those guys with Wemby now, and you're just like, holy shit, athletes and just like blue chippers, right? Yeah. And the thing I didn't really fully think about with Harper was how ready he was athletically. Because we've seen guards come in and either they're skinny that first year, or even somebody like Cade. I thought Cade I know his teams were bad, but he also seemed pretty choppy. Like we had some actual questions about, what is this? Is this somebody who could be an awesome lead ball handler? Harper, my questions were, can he shoot? Can he play off the ball? It's just clear he's going to be on the court for them. And I actually think they're going to have a pretty interesting numbers problem for them with Fox and with Castle and with Harper. They're going to be able to juggle those minutes, but they have more guys after that. So I think like ceiling wise, that's why we all went. Two of us went over on the Spurs. House went under, but I went way over. I really feel like if he's going to be able to give them 28 to 30 minutes a game, maybe that's too high. Maybe let's say 25, whatever, somewhere in that 25 to 30, but at a high level, that's like they just didn't have anybody like that last year.
Is there a decent chance that they're the best team in Texas this year? I mean, I don't remember what you guys
play.
Yeah,
we talked about the division odds for them and about how Houston is like up here at 52. Now we got to talk about Reed quickly because I watched some preseason with him 2 nights ago. And he's just firing now. He's like, Van Vliet's gone. I'm fucking firing. And the bench was really into it. And there was a little different demeanor to him. And so that made me a little worried about my under. But yeah, I think the ceiling of San Antonio with Wemby, if he's a top 5 guy, Houston is not going to have a top 5 guy, right? So if the pieces around him are good, I don't know. I think they're going to be really hard to play. You have that many athletes, plus you have rim protection. Plus, you have some size you can bring in with him now. They have a lot of answers.
Wemby is just flat out distracting. When you're trying to watch, I was like trying to watch the rookie. Any game you watch with him on there, I sent you a clip of he was like in a ball or in a handoff again in that Jazz game, and he was on the other side of the screen defender on the other side of Nurkic, and he just reached into the frame and stripped the ball off of I guess it was Ace, and Ace had this look like what just happened,
right?
He's just he's just a ridiculous distraction. But yeah, I think it's very much in play that they're gonna be so athletic on the perimeter, man. And in terms of thinking about their roster for Dillon, if you're in this position, and this was the argument that I made at the time, was just I'm just thinking of it simply like this: if I have a chance to get a player, a talent like Dillon, does he fit with Wemby? That was all. I was like, I'll figure out everything else later.
Right.
Because
do I have these 2 guys? I can figure out the other 10 later.
Yeah.
So my answer is already he fits in.
Yeah. I mean, it's just I think the thing with guys who have the ball in their hands is you always kind of have to start from this first. The square one is like, are you going to be hurried? And I know you like Yakachonis. I did too. I'm sure we'll talk about him, but that was something at like Summer League, guys that come into the league who are very used to hitting first, like Luka is like the all-time example of he came in and he was like, yeah, I'm going to punch everyone first.
Yeah.
Dillon is the same kind of thing. It's just like he never seems hurried around the basket. And he's just really angular and clever. I was noticing too, he has some of that. You see some of those guys shoot layups, like high glass layups off the wrong foot. Dillon does this thing where he'll go wrong footed and wrong handed, and he'll like get under and just kind of get away from guys. He's just really sneaky and really crafty. Yeah. And the great thing for them is that they don't have to put a ton of pressure on him they can really bring him along slowly and get all the value without getting the waste that might come with like dumping too much on him too early.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned the crafty because I think that's the thing that really resonated with me. They had one play. It was, and granted, it's preseason, who cares? But he had one play where he was on the ball on the right side and he's a lefty, right? And he kind of went baseline and did this kind of herky-jerky back and forth thing, got lower to the rim, did more herky-jerky, and then finally got a shot off. And I was like, wow, this kid's like 19. Like that seemed like a move you make when you're like 26. I feel like I probably underrated last June how important it was that they got the number 2 pick because it was so weird with the Rutgers thing and I know you guys, you and Tate talked about it nonstop. Like the Rutgers thing was so weird. It was almost like the ceiling and the basement. You couldn't even come up with what it was because it was like, that was just too weird. But clearly, like when you talk about guards coming in the league and being good right away, who have the ball a lot, it's pretty unique. And then the other thing is if Castle goes up a notch, now you're talking about, okay. And they have all these trade pieces. So I'm with you. To me, like them versus Houston, I think it's a lot closer than the odds. They're 8 wins lower with the over-unders in Houston. I think it's way closer than that.
Yeah. Houston has a little experience on them in a couple spots, but I'm sure, the Amen love. And I'm right along with everybody else. I love watching Amen Thompson. Play him at center. That's the way I'm thinking about it. But like I'm sure Steph Castle was over there thinking, I got something for this guy. Or, I'm sure he's like, I was the rookie of the year. It's just been interesting how big of a gap there's been. And, like Castle brings a lot of the playmaking stuff too. It's just interesting what the shadow of Wemby affords them on offense and defense. Like I was watching that Miami game. And there was a particular play where Wemby, he was doing his thing where he causes big guys to just like, look up and go, nah, I'm not going to do that.
Right.
And you could just see all of the other guys on the perimeter just basically become free safeties who have like 5 steps on the ball. So like there was one where I think it was like, it might have been Khalil Ware who was just stuck. And Khalil Ware is gigantic. I don't know if you've ever seen him in person. And he was like, I mean, I can't go up with this. So he turns and looks, and you could just see that I can't remember who intercepted the pass for the Spurs, but he just had an easy run to go intercept it. So they just have a lot of, having Wemby just
that's a really good point.
The conversation in a lot of different ways. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Because then the other piece of that is when you have Wemby behind you, you can gamble way more and be way more aggressive 25 feet from the basket because you have some sort of protection. They're down to plus 370 to win the division. I think that Mavs 6-1 is probably a reach with how long Kyrie's out. But yeah, I think that division's a little more open. The other thing I'll say with Harper, and this is like, whatever. This is a classic Bill Simmons ridiculous point. He carries himself like a star, and you just like, you kind of notice him immediately. There's certain guys like that where you just see him walking around, and there's, for a 19-year-old, like he's handsome, he's filled out already, and it just, I felt the same way about Thompson on Houston.
Yeah.
Which I was like, I don't know about these guys. And then you kind of watch them on a court and it's like, oh yeah, that guy's got it. And you just kind of, sometimes there's just these guys that are like, oh yeah, that guy's got it. And the way he carries himself, he's in this weird situation, right? He's not starting point guard. He's on Wemby's team. You would think he would be like a little, but he's not. He's not like that at all. He's cool. So that, and then we didn't even talk about Flag yet when we were talking about rookies jumping. Like Flag as this all-purpose Swiss Army knife. What do we need, guys? Oh, Davis isn't playing tonight. Fine, I'll play power forward. Oh, should I just play point guard tonight? I don't even know how you could assign a dollar value to what he brings in as a guy in a rookie contract, but this is what he's doing. He's like a max contract guy, basically, but they got him for, 1.8% odds in the lottery. Unbelievable.
Yeah. He's just ready to roll right off the assembly line. I mean, and I got to the point around the draft where I reached this point where I was like thinking about this fall, and I was like, well, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, what are you talking about? Like, you just step out. I was just like, what? Like every single step of the way. And I've done a few shows with Mavs people, and I've just trying to just give them an idea of maybe what's coming from having watched him in high school and stuff. And it's like, he's not stagnant in any way, shape, or form every single step of the way. And I was like, I'm just done underestimating him. And, you're talking about, he has a little ways to go in terms of like his setup moves and getting to the basket, but he's also very clever and crafty about the things that he does know how to do. If you watch him, he's really good at like giving a bump with his back and then turning and facing. He just doesn't dance a lot with the ball wastefully. His shot looks good. He came off of a couple.
Shot looks really good.
Yeah, he came off a couple of like, I don't know if they were flex or whatever type of screen it was, but he was moving, left to right and hit a great shot. But you just watch him; it's the same kind of thing too as Harper is. They played a lineup. Their lineups are going to be really, really interesting. They played a lineup that was like Cooper, D'Lo, Clay, PJ, and Lively. And it was because the Hornets went ahead on their first unit, if I'm not mistaken, and they put in that lineup and they just surged back. And it was just really fun for a minute, and say what you want about D'Lo. If you control him, I loved all the stuff you said and I'm with you on it, but it's like, if you can kind of control what D'Lo is, Cooper is already mature enough to kind of guide an offense like that. Yeah.
It's a little like Zion, right? Where there's going to be situations where it's like, I guess we're playing him at center. Oh, I guess he's our point guard now. He's going to be all over the map. The one thing I've noticed from watching him at Duke last year to even in the preseason stuff, it feels like he's more sophisticated offensively with some stuff like going to the basket, shooting, like shooting off like the wrong foot. Some of the explosive stuff, like it just feels like he's added some stuff to his bag that I wasn't positive he'd have. He felt way more closer to Tatum than I was expecting. I'm not talking about Tatum last year before the injury when he was one of the best 4 players in the league, but probably like year 2, year 3 Tatum when he was just starting to put together some some dribble move to the basket stuff. Mm-hmm. First year he was like basically in the corner, we were basically begging him to take the ball. Then he started adding stuff. And Flag offensively seems like he's like where year 3 Tatum was, which I was really surprised by. But did you notice that?
I mean, he's very. He and Tatum are in kind of on different paths with like I think that, and I've thought this for a while, that Cooper is ahead of him in terms of his like spatial sense and his passing and things like that. But I think that Tatum was a little wigglier with a live dribble at the same age. So it's just kind of like they're coming from different
more
spots,
size.
and it may be
3 more inches.
And at 25 years old, maybe they'll end up at a similar spot. But I just like I like all the different ways they can use him. He did get a little. He did this at Summer League too, where there were a couple times where you could tell he was really enjoying the show, and I'd never seen him do that before. At Summer League, he was kind of like looking around, all the players are on the front row, and he makes a couple risky passes and plays. He threw a couple behind the back passes in that preseason game. Granted, preseason, Summer League, they're both kind of unserious. You're experimenting, you're tinkering, things like that. But he made a couple plays like that. I was like, what exactly is he doing there? But I don't know, man. I just don't put anything past him anymore. Like I think he plays within himself. He's just a right play machine. He's also a really smart, the defensive stuff has translated immediately too. So
and the competitiveness is almost crazed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like he's trying in these preseason games where you're like, dude, settle down. Yeah, the reason I brought up Tatum, what do you think he averaged in year 2 for the Celtics playing 31.1 minutes a game?
Oh, that's tough.
How many points a game do you think he had?
What, that would have been 17, 18?
No, 18, 19, second
18,
year.
19. God. I don't know. 15?
Yeah, 15.7.
Good guess.
And he was making 1.5 threes a game, 45% field goal, and 2.9 free throws a game. And then year 3, that 2020 season, that ended up getting stopped by COVID. But that was when all of a sudden the free throws are close to 5, 23.4 points a game. Flag seems at least like a little ahead of year 2 Tatum, but not where year 3 Tatum is yet. And he's not going to have the same size, but he's a maniac. And as you said, he's like Tatum always had a question of like when he's going to learn to make the right play. Mm-hmm. What's he going to do? And then he finally started to unlock that as the 2020s went along. And then last year, I thought he was really good with that stuff. Flag seems like he has it immediately.
I think this Mavs roster, there's just some funny, ironic stuff going on with the fact that they have this insane collection of like elite play finishers. Gafford and AD and Lively are all elite or borderline elite lob threats. Clay's one of the best catch and shoot. I was thinking today, I was like, it's kind of like that episode of The Twilight Zone where the guy has all the books but no glasses. It's like he has this insane like resources and assets at his disposal, and it's like if they just had Kyrie, it's like where are they going to bend and warp the defense with some of these bigger lineups? That's why they get popped so much when they had D'Lo in there, because it's AD might have one of the bigger questions of just kind of like how it's not necessarily naturally implied like the Lively AD and Gafford thing. How's that going to balance out? Because they can put some lineups out there that could be pretty interesting.
Yeah, ironically, AD feels like could be trade bait to get something, and they'd probably be a little more interesting. But I like the way they are. They're such a weird team. I think they're going to be really hard to play. And then having Flag just be able to guard dudes on the perimeter, and it's already like incredible to watch him on defense, fighting over screens, jumping through. Like he's already one of the higher end defenders we have. Edgecombe, neither of us have watched, right?
Yeah,
you haven't seen a lot of
on him. Yeah.
I think we're fine with that because it seems like he's going to be an energy guy the first year. Knipple,
let's do it.
And the Hornets in general, because there's a couple other rookies on that team too, including Kalkbrenner, who seems like he's going to play like real men. What pick was he?
Oh, did he? He was. I don't know what.
Was he like end of first round, early second round?
I think so. He was real. Yeah, he was. I think early.
That dude's going to play actual minutes.
Yeah. I'm not surprised by that. I mean, I do think that like in a really competitive scenario, he's probably your like rotation big. But I mean,
on this team, he's a 40 minutes a game center because they don't have any centers.
Well, Rob and I were talking about this last night, and I was like, they threw some lineups out there. They threw out a Bridges, LaMelo, Miller, Khan. And I think Kalkbrenner might have been out there, but the ball was humming. I mean, it was LaMelo. I was joking about this on Twitter that like, first I would say, I was telling Rob, I was like, I think this is going to be one of my league pass teams because they're just absurd.
Yeah. I'm in.
But Rob was like, well, he was just like, dude, that front court is just one of the worst. And it's true. They are going to hemorrhage easy points like on the glass. They're going to have they're just going to give up a lot of easy points. But LaMelo, man, I mean, I go back and forth between, I've defended him a lot. And last night I was watching, I literally wrote in my notes, the Hornets should find a way to trade LaMelo. And then he just rattles off 5 plays that no one else can make. So it's just kind of that team. And it kind of makes you wonder if Khan, I would love to give a lie detector test to some of LaMelo's teammates, because Khan's used to playing a very regimented, like, right play, we do this. This is the sensible, this level of wildness.
Right, he's curious. In a freelance jazz band now.
Basically.
I agree with you. I think they're going to be an amazing league pass team. And I like their 4. I don't really care who the 5th guy is. I think the 4 will be fun to watch. I have no idea if they'll get stops. And Knipple is who we thought he was. Like, he's in the right spots. He's a dangerous 3-point shooter already. He rebounds. They're going to actually need him to rebound. So no surprises. We were all in on him. Ace Bailey was a surprise to me. And we talked about this a little on Tuesday, but the size and the ease that he's getting his points. I don't know if he's going to be able to do anything else, but it seems like him and then Trey Johnson, ironically, who taken right after him, those guys are just going to be able to score immediately, which is no small thing for rookies. Rookies don't just come in and throw up like 25 in their 3rd game, like, especially at the non-point guard or like the small forward, whatever Ace is. I don't even know. But any surprises with Ace other than what you already said about the telephone booth thing?
Yeah, I mean, it's just he's coming in, and these are the things we knew he could do. I mean, if he has space and you let him catch and shoot, this was the case at Rutgers. Is he's going to score, man? I mean, like, he didn't have the space and he didn't have the scheme to do that. I mean, I'm sure that Will Hardy knew immediately what to do with him, and that he comes out there and the other thing for me too is. I mean, you were talking about comparing him like the early KD. I think that's everybody's temptation usually. I've heard people say like Rashard Lewis. I like that. I probably should have included that, but he's a little more like an MPJ type of run something for him, let him be a shot maker. Granted, anytime he dribbles the ball, I think he had one play where he tried to attack a closeout. His just awareness of help and things like that, it's just a little ways away. He's just not quite ready to do that kind of stuff. But
can we agree this is the perfect team for him? Although I guess they don't have the right kind of point guard to set him up, but
are the Jazz a perfect team in any way?
Well, just like he's going to play minutes and get shots and make mistakes and
yeah, for sure. And they have a lot to gain by him even being wacky and letting loose and being messy. And I was going to say another thing too is that I think Walter Clayton Jr. might be better than Keontae George like right now. I'm sure. I was like, I bet he was watching Summer League and being like, "Fuck." He just looks really smooth and steady out there.
He's probably older. Is he older?
He might be older.
He might be. I mean, he's like 23.
But he's, I like him. But yeah, with Ace, I mean, everything that he does is just his superpower is the one step thing. And that's what I was saying going up to the draft. It's like if he has a step to go after a chase down block, he'll do something incredible. If he has a step to go catch a lob, it's just if he has the room to show off that athleticism, if you let him jump and get to his shot, he's going to make it. So yeah, he's going to have some moments this year. I wasn't surprised.
Well, all we care about is whether somebody's a fun league pass team when they're a non-playoff team. And in that case, I will test them out multiple times. Try it out. We'll see how it goes. Trey Johnson, too, just house is all in already. He's just a professional scorer. So Fears at number 7, that one worried me a little. Like he's definitely, they're definitely giving him the car keys and have him, he's, who knows? It's early, but that one, I don't know. That seemed pretty high for him at number 7. And especially it does feel like there's like a distinct drop off between those first 6 guys in the 7th pick. And I don't know if he makes it or not, but did you see anything with him?
Nothing that really for me, watching him in the first couple preseason games and watching him, in summer league, it was like, you see all the positive. It's just, in a serious game, I mean, like he can get to spots. He's very fast. He's a pretty good lob thrower. It's just, is he going to be able to shoot pull-up threes? Is he going to get mercilessly picked on defense? Because, that threshold is pretty cruel no matter how good you are. But I was going through, early in the season, you do this thing where you try not to overreact to the first couple returns because Fierce was somebody I was lower on. I think I had him in the 20s. And then because of those things, And I'm just kind of going line by line, and I'm like, I had him kind of low, didn't I? But then you just look and you're like, all these guys are kind of showing signs that they're going to be
draft.
good. Yeah, and
Yeah.
even young Hansen for Portland, that was one that I was lower on. It might ultimately be just like a lot of people got duped by the lack of information, and Portland just had a crazy advantage with the tape because apparently the tape was just really hard to get on Young, and it was really limited on synergy. So you kind of had to be a detective and go get that stuff. But yeah, this class is looking like it's going to be good. I mean, you don't want to overreact, but it's looking good.
The fears problem, that's been a bust type of profile, right? Those guards that they don't have a ton of size, they're fast, but like what's their calling card? So we'll see with him. Just zooming through, I saw Young. I called him Yang for the entire Overrunners podcast. I'll get it down, but he's clearly something.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know what he is, but he it's like I just signed me up for more. Clayton looks like he's going to play right away. And then this Behringer on Minnesota seems like he might actually play and fits the profile of somebody who succeeds on a winning team, right? Long, energy, athletic, rim runner, shot blocker. Don't ask him to do anything else, but they kind of needed a guy like that. So I feel like he's going to play. And then we watched a little Maliuch on Maliach. I'm going to get this. Malawach?
Yeah.
We watched some of him on Tuesday night. And it was interesting because he was playing against DeAndre Ayton. And they're kind of very similar bodies. And just like it was funny, like they got rid of DeAndre Ayton so they could basically take the next DeAndre Ayton. But he really tries and he can second jump, which I think when you look at somebody on that size, if you have that one jump and then kind of the play's over for you as other side, like he was able to get back up. So there's something there. I liked him in college, but I thought he fit in an NBA game. Have you seen him?
Yeah, I mean, my worries with him kind of started. I worried about some of these faster bigs, like getting to the ball quicker than him. I think for him, it's going to be a question of just learning how to like wager in a smart way whenever he's like in space with a really fast player, like learning how to stay down and let his length just be his strength. Because the more he like goes for things, I mean, Brook Lopez mastered that. There's a lot of guys who have it. Right. He's a smart kid. I could see him doing that, but yeah. He's even bigger than Ayton, right? I mean, I think he's longer than Ayton. I'm pretty positive.
He's like kind of a little longer, but they were around the same size.
Yeah.
The only other guys I wanted to mention, and then you tell me who your favorite random guy was. There might be something there with Jace Richardson. And I didn't have him on my bingo card, but I'm kind of monitoring that one because he's unlike anybody they have in that roster, but I'm just intrigued to see if he plays. And then Gonzalez on the Celtics, they keep throwing darts at the board of these athletic wings who can't really shoot, but really try hard, right? They kind of failed with Jordan Walsh. Gonzalez, I think they've been impressed by, and I think he's shooting a little better than they thought. And he's like an absolute maniac. I mean, he's actually crazed.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if he might play. But those were the two that jumped out. Who's jumped out for you at post lottery?
I was going to say the Gonzalez thing. I was going to second that. Everything that I've heard from them is a lot of enthusiasm. Yeah, like they're really, really loving him. I think they saw his upside as higher than consensus, and he is a maniac. He kind of reminds me of that just like pesky, annoying, high-motored guy that like OKC would take. And there's been some. I mean, we've talked about it before that like OKC and Boston have some overlap in their personnel preferences that you've kind of been able to see. But yeah, I mean, I really liked him a lot. Neat Clifford is a guy that I've gone to bat for and out on if the Kings if you were gonna just siphon any little positive thing for the Kings, it's that I really do like Clifford. And I think Keegan Murray's good, obviously, and I do think that Devin Carter is going to be worth keeping around. I think those three guys. I was joking about when Clifford was playing well. It's going to be the shame when Sacramento punts him for like Kuminga in January. But let's hope they don't do that. But he just looks like an adult out there. He can come at you from a lot of different ways. He can really pass the ball. He's a really good movement shooter. I just think he's going to be able to play for them really quickly. So
now he gets to learn from Russell Westbrook.
I could not believe
to learn how to lead a team.
Great mentorship in store here for him. Yeah.
And then the Nets is the last thing. Have you watched them?
Yeah. Yeah.
The rookie smorgasbord. Did anybody jump out?
I mean, Wolf actually looked better in the preseason games than he looked in summer league. To me, the impression that I've gotten is that they feel pretty good about the shooting upside of Demon when he comes back. And then, but Wolf looked really comfortable. He had one play I think where he was attacking Drew Eubanks. I mean, I might as well stick with it. I had him pretty high. I had him higher than Malawatch. I think I had him 13 and Malawatch 14. But no, I mean he attacked the basket at one point and to the right and came back to his left and then shot like a lefty, soft left-handed shot in the lane. It's just all these Brooklyn guys, man. I mean, if you want to talk about like the shooting challenge of a lifetime, I mean, they drafted 4 guys who like to be on the ball, and they all are questionable shooters. So I guess if you get maybe 1 or 2 out of the 4 that can get to the point where they make a shot. But the team, I agreed with you all from the over-under pod. I mean, it's just an abject disaster. So.
All right, that's our preseason rookie blink test. I guess the big headlines are Harper and Flag specifically. Like, really, as a combo, might be a pretty special twosome to get 2 guys in the draft who have a chance. I think both of them have first team All NBA potential. Flag probably is a safer bet, but Harper definitely. I mean. And you think like San Antonio putting him with Wemby together and just that being your foundation, like you're pretty good if you can keep Wemby on the court. But in general, this draft seems like really like a possible A+ draft, right? When we're talking about 21st century drafts, like this is, I think it's going to be one of the storylines of the year. So,
what about Yakachonis though? I thought for sure you would. Did you have any kind of takeaways on him? I mean,
listen, I went all in. He had one bad summer league game, and everybody made fun of me. And guess what? I'll be vindicated because that guy went 7 picks later than he should have, and it was fucking stupid. And I don't know how Miami pulled that one off, but yeah, he is who he thought he was. He's fun to play with. He's going to be really devastating in pick and rolls, and I think he's going to play right away for them. I don't know, with this hero being out for 25 games, 30 games, he might actually get real minutes for them, and we're going to find out almost right away. He's going to get thrown in the fire. If you're talking about thrown in the fire, guys, he's probably one of the few that a team's actually going to need, I think, especially if Rozier, I guess, is just whatever the hell happened with him.
Yeah.
But
he looked like he had real chemistry with Ware when he was out there. It's just kind of like, it's, you want to say the Pajimski thing because he's got the reddish blondish hair. You want to do like the aesthetic bias thing where you're like, that looks like that. So
he's
that's
a better passer though.
It's close. They're both pretty creative. I don't think it's a ding on either one of them to say like, they're both kind of in the same, but he's going to be dared to shoot, but he's young. I don't, if you're riding him really hard as your primary guy, I think you're going to come away frustrated. But if he's just kind of moving within the teeth of their offense and he's got good hands on defense too. I don't know. I think he's just going to be a nice rotation guy for them. So.
All right, before we go, give us 45 seconds on why Reed Shepherd is the X factor of the 2025-26 season. Because this was your guy. You were all in on him being good.
As another white guy who's 6'1" and from Kentucky, I felt like, I took a personal interest in Reed Shepherd. Shocker there. But
you threw the name Mark Price around, was thrown around at some point. You threw a couple big names around with him last year.
I did. I don't think he's as wiggly like as a pull-up shooter as Price. I think that was off, but I think he's more of a. I wrote something before the season started where I was just talking about how they might use him. People are just assuming he's just going to be pounding the ball the way up there at the top. I think if they have him be super aggressive with his shot, just start with that proposition. And then if he doesn't have a shot initially, he's running off screens and things like that. I know they want him like 3-point attempts is a great stat for them. They're not as obsessed with the makes. Like if he gets them up and establishes that audacity for their offense, that's something that they can use. And you've seen him. I mean, he's being hyper aggressive. He's not afraid. He's a really good connected passer. I just think it's going to take some time before they can like really lean on him. But man, he turned the ball over immediately twice in a row when I turned the game on the other night, but he steadied the ship. But that's, man. I mean, as long as he's aggressive from 3 and not a liability on defense, I think that's a good starting point for them with him. Yeah.
One thing I noticed with them, they just put him in the right corner. And you have Durant at the top, and you have Thompson kind of floating around being Thompson. And then just shepherd. He's just pulling the defense. You have to. You can't leave him because he's
stand
got
up
the quick release.
He'll stand up by the hash mark sometimes. They'll have him like post stand up there like 38 feet away, and it's like you got to take a step towards him. But yeah,
he's got that rare thing where if he gets the pass right, he could just flick a three.
The no dip.
Like he doesn't. Yeah, there's like 5 guys in the league. Like Curry, obviously, I think he probably invented it, but there's 5 guys in the league who could just do the quickies.
Mm-hmm.
So they got that. But anyway, it made me think like, I wonder if they're just going to use him almost as an off the ball. You have to worry about this guy over here guy to basically open up the rest of the space for them. I still don't understand how their offense is going to work with guys who just, I don't want to say ball stoppers, but I'll say ball stoppers. I want to see who's the glue guy that kind of combines everything is a big question I have with them.
I think they'll try to go get Dinwiddie. I feel like Ime would kill Dinwiddie. I can't imagine that relationship working. But
yeah,
no, I mean,
Dinwiddie.
I think the last thing I'll say about the Rockets, if you were going to give one positive, and I said this in this piece, is that I think the guys who are like making decisions off the catch, that is one area they upgraded. If you're talking about Jalen Green and Dylan Brooks, and you're talking about like get Durant's a better passer. I think Shepard's a better passer, just a little smaller. So, I mean, that's one thing that you can work with. But I think that initial like on ball to off ball toggle thing is something that he can do now. So, yeah.
All right. Come in. What's your next thing for the Ringer?
We're starting up draft stuff, wrapping up a gigantic project that I'm hopefully going to be able to announce soon. And then, so we're just going to start covering the college season and the rookies. Yeah.
Awesome. Good to see you. Thanks.
You too.
This episode is brought to you by Uber Eats. Every football season, the same thing happens. The game somehow makes everybody really hungry. Quarterback scrambles, clearly a sign for breakfast burritos. Yeah. Turnovers, suddenly dessert at 2 p.m. doesn't sound so crazy. Wing formations, well, those can only mean buffalo wings, as if they're ever not in play. Even the goalposts start looking suspiciously like French fries. It's almost like football is sending the message to eat more food. Yeah, the good news, Uber Eats makes those cravings easy to satisfy with Gameday Deals all season long. From wings and pizza to chips, drinks, and even last-minute grocery runs. Don't sleep on those. You'll find savings on all your favorites delivered straight to your door. Order now on Uber Eats. All right, Joe House is here. It's Thursday afternoon. I'm on the East Coast. We've already done like 4.5 hours of content this week, but just in a normal week, if our picks had been going as badly as they had been, maybe I just bump you for the week. Oh, House was on the NBA over-unders pod. I'll just get somebody else for this week. But we had a really good week. We were 4-0. Verno was 0-1 on our picks.
Poor Verno. Yeah, trial separation would have made sense. But, buddy, when we fucking it's good, we have to stick with it.
Yeah, we got to stick together. Let's talk NBA over-unders, the aftermath really fast.
Okay.
Because
great.
FanDuel, I talked to them because they do the Super Boost every year.
Yeah.
And it looks like this is going to be the Super Boost, and they're going to be pushing this starting on Friday. Here we go. The Milwaukee Bucks, a team that you, me, and Zach all agreed on as locks at 42.5.
Triple lock.
45 plus wins for the Super Boost because we need something. Golden State, 45 plus. We all were over on them at 47.5. So we're getting a little value there.
Yeah.
And then OKC, who's over under with 62.5 wins. We all love that. That's 60 plus. So Bucks 45 plus. That's going to be the hardest one. Warriors 45 plus and OKC 60 plus. That's going to be around plus 415, plus 420 range. And with the parlay boost token, gets bumped up into the plus 535, 40 range, however it nets out. So that's the boost. And we need the Bucks is basically how this needs to go.
So that's the question is who's going to fuck us? You think that the answer would be the Bucks?
Well, that's they would have to overachieve 3 wins beyond or 2.5 wins beyond their over under number.
We think that 45 is probably the right number, especially with some developments that we're going to see coming in the East.
Yeah, we had them in the 4 to 5 to 6 range in the East, and I was thinking about some of the picks we had after and some of the arguments we had. And like, what would be your do-over? Because for me, I think I'm not positive I was in the right spot with Orlando with the under. It was 50.5. And I think I had too many overs. And now I'm looking at that going, why did I go under on those guys? And I didn't feel good about it to begin with.
I'm queasy about Orlando. I feel like I'm not that concerned about that. It depends on 100% health. Well, why did that team with all those young guys have bad injury luck last year? Like those guys,
Yeah.
Franz Wagner is young, Paulo was young, and Suggs is young. And Suggs is not starting the season on the basketball team.
Right. Well, that's why I backed off. Right.
Yeah. So I don't think that we were in the wrong direction in terms of Orlando. The one that I personally would do over is San Antonio, because the way that the West is shaping up, you and Zach both went over on San Antonio. I went under. I don't like going under based on a thesis that depends on a little bit of injury, bad luck, but I did it. But that I would do that over, because I'd like to be on the side of just rooting for the Spurs to be awesome and for Wemby to be awesome all season.
I thought you were going to be a coward and actually flip your pick on that. Which, by the way, Zach did. What did he do? He added a lock, or Zach had one. He did a 180 on one of his picks, which I thought was pretty funny.
It's okay. That's our first time together.
Well, the biggest tragedy of our podcast, we were very, 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 very hard on the Sacramento Kings. Very
Especially
hard.
Zach.
Very hard.
Tremendous job by Zach Lowe.
We just were carving them up, and they got spiteful and mad and upset that we did that. And they signed Russell Westbrook the next day, and they deprived us of the ability to talk about it, how fucking crazy of a signing that is for over 100 podcasts. It's like, why are you doing that? That would have been 5 minutes of content. How dare they?
Tremendous, because they told us just suck it. We're not giving you anything else to add to your highly inappropriate snark.
Well,
from their perspective.
And then here's the other thing they did. Keegan Murray, who's starting out the season hurt, I mean, he'll come back. Yeah. They gave him $140 million for 5 years.
Oh, my God. How did we miss this? Can we do the worst contracts, the NBA worst contracts next week?
We do it after the All-Star break every year. Okay, and I'll tell you something. Keegan submitted his resume for top 10.
Right, first week of the season, we got a resume in.
Those are my least favorite contracts, when it's a guy who can't be an all-star and you're paying him basically right under that $30 million a year. Those are the ones, like from Patrick Williams and the Bulls when they gave him $90 million for 5.
Right. Yes.
That range, basically from Patrick Williams to Keegan Murray, is like the fucking graveyard of bad contracts.
Yeah, and it's the team not having a firm conviction, so they kick the can with a shit contract.
And he's one of those, he seems fine on paper guys.
Yeah.
You watch him and you're like, oh, hypothetically, I like him. And there's some other people like this. Like, I probably like Jabari Smith more than most, but Jabari Smith, for the most part, has been a hypothetical guy versus an actual guy.
Well,
at least he has size, and I can play him as a stretch 5. Keegan, I can't.
We should just give that category a name. I think it's the annual Emmanuel Quickly.
That's another one.
That's the one. Like, that's the contract.
The Raptors have like 5 of these contracts. They're like tweener contracts.
Yes.
They're like a notch under an all-star spot, but you could probably get somebody to make $4 million a year who could put together 85% of the same stats. That's where the issue is.
That's where it comes in.
That's why I didn't even like that Jovic contract. But anyway, so other than as we head toward opening day, I think those are the biggest NBA stories that happen.
Fun.
We'll see.
Good stuff.
Let's talk NFL. We did well last week. We were 4-0. I like the slate this week. You said you only like 3 games. We have this new pact where we don't talk at all about the games beforehand. So I have no idea what games you like. And I was just going to go through the stayaways first and stop me if any of these were your games.
Okay, great.
I don't want any part of that Lions 5.5 over the Bucks.
Oh, interesting. Why not?
Because I don't know who's playing receiver for the Bucks.
Okay.
I don't know who's playing defense for the Lions. Fair. I don't want to bet against Baker Mayfield ever, the heater that he's on, but I also don't really want to bet on the Bucks when I don't know who's playing. The line is in the Vegas zone for a reason, and it just felt like a stay away to me.
So early in the week, I was plowing into the Lions. I have a ton of Lions exposure. They have a tremendous record off of a loss, the combination of Dan Campbell and Jared Goff. I lost some of my enthusiasm. I'm saying it right now. I'm not going to buy out of the position, but the Brian Branch suspension is bad. That's bad for a team with all of the injuries in the secondary. That dude is heavy lumber. And for him to be out plus the secondary, now I do still think for the Buccaneers, this is the moment where it finally catches up with them. But it seems like Mike Evans is practicing. And
I'm starting him in the fantasy league I care the most about. Also, there's cheap touchdown potential for them too. I stop it.
It's fine.
Let's
it's
not
fine.
bet
I'm
against
not.
it.
So it went from a love for me into like a like, and I again, the Brian Branch suspension was I'm not going to use the word I was going to use, a bummer.
Very fun game to watch, and I look forward to belatedly doing a Bucks
giant overs.
Yeah, I feel like on Sunday I'm going to do a Bucks tease with the over, and probably just out of pure boredom. We'll see. I think
the thing that I love the best about when you are in Boston, it's really dangerous. The FanDuel.
Oh my God!
Flow. Oh my!
Is it dangerous or is it glorious? Why did you use the wrong OUS word?
In the eye of the beholder. I mean, the text that I'm getting from you're just sitting there firing. How long are you in Boston for?
I'm only here for a couple days, but
okay.
The problem is I'm leaving Saturday, and there's going to be some runway bets as well. We'll see a couple of those. A couple firing them off. Well, the funny thing is, like, we're taping this before Pittsburgh, Cincinnati today, which is just the definition of a just stay away. It's a Thursday night. Yeah. It looks like a classic bad spot for the Steelers. I don't want to bet on the Bengals, but I'm sure I'll talk myself into something just out of pure boredom. Plus, there's baseball. A little interspersing.
It's great.
Washington and the Cowboys in Dallas, I think, is a stay away for us.
No, thank you. Please, let's stay away. I think
Are
Dallas
you nervous
is
about
win.
That game? Because that's one of those.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, you're in trouble
Dak
if you
Prescott
lose.
Play quarterback.
You're in trouble if you lose that.
Incredible. Now the pass defense for Washington is not setting the world on fire. They let Caleb Williams go right down the goddamn field for the game-winning field goal. I did not enjoy it.
It's kind of a must-win because your next three are at Chiefs, Seattle, and then Detroit.
I think we can get Seattle at home, but the other two, those are losses. Put them in the loss column now. I mean, Washington's, they're going to have to battle hard to get to 9-8 and be in the playoff conversation.
How worried are you on a scale of 1 to 10 about my bet that I have against you and every other person who likes Washington?
I already took the $500 and put it in a sock. Was I supposed to say the amount out loud?
Well, we did. Yeah, it was $500 a person.
Yeah.
I got an extra 2 wins because the Pats were plus 7.5 or 7.5 over under. Washington was 9.5.
Those were the totals. I mean, that was it. We played it that way.
Where it could get lucrative is it's win by win against Chang. The Pats have the easiest schedule the rest of the way.
It's outrageous.
The Pats could just stumble into like 11-6 out of nowhere. So
the funniest thing that could possibly happen is the Titans beating the Patriots this week, except for it's Vrabel's revenge game. So I think the right way to play it is Patriots by 55 points. I'm going to be in the alt spread market looking at that.
Well, when you said the funniest thing that could happen, I thought you were going to tell the story of the dinner we had with Chang and Nathan.
I'm not telling that story.
At Capo on Saturday night.
No, because you can't say the restaurant's name if we tell
I'm
the
not
story.
going back there. I'm happy to say it.
I love that restaurant. I want to go back there.
Well, they need to apologize to us.
I think they apologized to Nathan already.
Did they apologize?
It was an all-timer. He said they apologized. It was an all-timer.
They brought bottles of wine and didn't tell us the price and tried to jack the price out of us. Like we were like,
I wouldn't.
The price was the price. Players.
We just didn't do enough sort of inquiry.
They didn't tell us. And then they brought a dessert wine that we didn't ask for and then charged us for that. I've been going to restaurants my entire life. I've never seen that happen.
Well, the dessert wine is like just completely unnecessary. It is not, for
we
us.
We thought they were like bringing us like dessert wine because Chang was there. No, they decided to bring us a bottle and charge it to us.
The cherry on top.
If I said what the price of the bottle was, people wouldn't actually believe it. I'm not going to.
Don't say any prices.
I'll never go back there, so I have no problem. We'll see if it's.
I love it. I'm going back. They have my business for life. Bullshit. I love that spot.
I hate. When I used to work as a waiter and bartender, we had this one waiter we worked with, and it's like it's standard. If it's 6 people or more, it's a standard, like you add the tip, right? It was, I think it was 18% in the 90s.
Yeah, right.
But you would tell the table. It's like the right thing to do. It's like the karma thing to do is to be like, hey, just so you know, the tip has been included. And this one waiter we worked with would never tell the tables, hoping he would get double tipped.
Was it the J-Bug?
No, the J-Bug would never have done that, ever.
The J-Bug is a man of integrity. I don't mean to
J-Bug would never in a million years have done that.
He is to the contrary.
An all-time karma guy. It was this other dude we had, and he wouldn't tell the tables, and we would get so mad. It was like, this is fucking terrible that you did that. He's like, well, I got 36% instead of 18. It's like, congratulations, fuckface. I just think when you do stuff like that, the karma comes back. So we'll see.
That's fine.
We'll see with that place. Anyway, back to the football games. Broncos, Giants. Broncos -7 at home against the Giants.
Yeah.
That is two crappy offenses.
Yep.
I don't want any part of this game in either way. I have no idea who's going to win. I don't ever want to bet on Bo Nix again.
Well, that's
and I'm
the
not
problem.
putting them in a tease, anything.
The problem is it's them at home. The funny thing is it's basically the same number as the beginning of the season. The Titans at the Broncos landed. It was over the summer 7.5. It moved up to 8.5, and then the Titans covered. But it's another rookie quarterback on the road, and there is a lot of reason to be skeptical about the success.
A rookie quarterback against a great defense, who takes unnecessary chances. Right. I'm just scarred from last week.
We're staying away. It's good. It's fine.
Last one that I looked at, and I was intrigued by the 49ers -1.5 against the Falcons. And especially Falcons coming off a Monday night game, great win. They're home. They're feeling great. Now they're on the road. Bosa's out. Warner's out. Who knows who's actually playing for the Niners? And it just felt like an awesome spot to be like, oh, yeah, of course. And my shit detector's going off. It's a Sunday night game. I don't trust the Falcons. I just can't. I can't get there.
Definitely don't trust them on the road under
don't
any
trust them on the road. Just period. Their defense is first against the pass. It's 4th on third downs. It's 7th in sacks. Like, all the stat signs are like, you should probably bet the Falcons here, but I'm not. I think it's a stay away.
Yeah, I agree with staying away. I will end up playing this game as Sunday night rolls around, and I'm going to play the Niners just because we established the rule for ourselves, so we don't play the Falcons on the road.
I would probably do the Niners or some tease that takes the Niners to 4.5 or above, something goofy. We'll see. Like, by Sunday, Kittle might be playing.
Right.
Like they might have a couple receivers that we don't. Right now, we don't know who's playing.
Is Purdy playing? We
don't know. That's why they can't be in it.
It's fine.
But I think that's worth monitoring. If that line stays under 3 and they get some guys back, Falcons outdoors night game, California.
Right.
Yeah. That feels a little bit tasty. So one other one, I didn't know if it was a stay away or not. Well, there's two actually. One is Texans Seahawks.
Okay.
Houston +3.5 in Seattle. And initially I was like, this looks like a smash spot for Houston because I really like their defense.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think the Seattle home field advantage has been there the last couple of years. I mean, the record backs it up. I don't know what happened to it. Houston's defense, 1st in the league scoring, 5th passing, 7th rush. Seattle's offense has looked good the last couple of weeks, but maybe Houston can disrupt them. And then you look at the Seattle defense spot, the stats, the stature, some of the stuff they're doing against Houston's like really shitty offensive line. As Lombardi always said, offensive lines don't travel. You're putting them in Seattle with a loud crowd, and Seattle 2nd against the run, 3rd QB hits, 2nd hurries, 3rd sacks. Just feels like, I have Houston, and then a quarter in, you're like, oh my God, they can't block Seattle. So I think it's a stay away unless you feel strongly.
No, I don't. I have a little on the Texans already because the 3.5 is just too rich for me. And you mentioned how bad Seattle's been at home. See that the thing with Seattle that I can't forgive them is that loss against Baker Mayfield and the Bucs. Like that was a situation that Seattle, if you're a serious team, you need to take care of business. That's a seeding in the playoffs kind of game. The implications are there because Seattle already lost at home to the 49ers. So like these are the teams that you have to beat if you're going to be, in a serious place come playoff time. But you're right in terms of, we can't bet on the Texans with that offensive line. We just can't do it.
If we were 20-10 and Ringer 107 right now, I might have talked myself into it, but we need wins. There is one parlay that I did stare at for a while. If you take Houston to plus 7.5 and you take the under up to 47.5, I don't see 48 points in this game with the two defenses unless there was some weird turnover special team shit. I just don't think.
Just play it all the way up. Play it at full teaser. Texans up to 9.5 and whatever the total is for the full 6.
Well, the 47.5, you're getting like 7 extra points for the over under. 47.5 is a nice number because then.
Yeah, key number is 47
that's a lot of
totals.
Points. Yeah, that's a lot of points. So anyway. And then the other one that I think is a stay away, but I'm willing to be talked out of it just because I probably overrate this team. Saints plus 5.5 in Chicago. Is this one of your 3?
We're playing this one, buddy.
Oh, okay.
Let there be no doubt.
Let me move that one up.
Yeah.
Okay. The other one I was looking at from a tease standpoint, Jacksonville and the Rams. And sadly, this is in London, which has become, we're 0-3 in London games. Jags are plus 3. Ostensibly are going to have a home crowd. Who knows?
Yes.
Rams flying there. Puka is questionable and probably not playing. And if he plays, he's on one leg. That makes me nervous. The Jags are just goofballs. But the spot I was thinking that made me feel better about this is a parlay or tease, taking the Jags up into the 7.5, 8 range and making the Rams have to beat them by 2 scores late. Because I'm not positive they can.
Yeah.
But the London game scares me. So what do you think of that one?
We're not playing it. There's a reason that we have a rule against playing the London games. We're just not playing it.
We've broken the rule for 3 straight weeks.
Big dumbasses. So having said that, I do think the Jags are the correct side and directionally, putting them in there's no reason that you can't sit on the runway Saturday afternoon and fire off whatever you want on that. We just can't put it into this contest under any circumstances.
You wouldn't even put that Jags plus 8.5.
Fuck no. If they're playing in London on Sunday morning, there's a reason that we have a rule.
So the Chiefs minus 11.5 at the Raiders, they're minus 700. And I think for any parlay, they have to be in. Rice is back. Bowers, I think the Raiders without Bowers is I'm just not afraid of them. I know there's some history with these two teams. The Raiders have beaten them weirdly, like maybe 2 times over the last 4 years. But this to me feels like they break Rashee Rice out of the garage. They drive him around. They do little wheelies outside in the street. They zoom it down. They rev the engine a little. And they probably take their foot off the gas in the second half. But I feel very comfortable throwing them in some sort of parlay.
Okay. On the
as
money
a
line?
minus 700. Yeah, it's like we do a 3-teamer.
Great. Sure.
I feel great about putting them in it.
Great. No problem.
Okay. No chance to Geno and the Raiders, nothing? Anything scare you?
No.
Chiefs kind of quietly up to the number 3 offense in the league by EPA now.
Catastrophe is the only thing that scares me with that.
Pretty bad. They barely beat Tennessee last week, who then immediately fired their coach and the coach's dad. Callahan tire fires.
No, the Raiders kind of beat Tennessee's ass. Tennessee tried to show some life in the fourth
20
quarter.
points.
Tennessee is so
Callahan
bad.
tire fires is no longer. Our guy Callahan finished 4-19 against the spread for his career. He's the number 1 worst against the spread in the history of football since they've been tracking spreads.
It's amazing that I think I only bet against him half the time.
At what point in your life do you brag about that? Like when you're like 65 years old and someone's like, I heard you were a coach. Yeah, coached an NFL team. Really? What team? Tennessee. Coached there for 1.5 years. Pause. I have the worst record ever against the spread. Nobody's ever done worse. There were 23 opportunities to bet for or against me. And if you bet against me, you won 19 of the 23. It's a record. It's 80% of the time you bet against me, you won. It's never happened before.
He's a record holder. That's it. He
is.
I'm a record holder as an NFL head coach.
Yeah, I hold a record. Really? What record? Well, it's a weird one. Also, how did Hugh Jackson not have the record?
You put that question into one of the threads. Did anybody answer it? There's no way that Hugh Jackson did very much better. A little bit better, maybe, but not very much better.
4-19 is just incredible. Like, I'm in awe of it.
Yeah,
it's like when we were growing up and they would show Bob Beeman's Mexico City jump,
right?
And you'd be like, "Oh my God, he jumped 4 feet further than everyone else. How did he do that?" 4-19, really amazing, great stuff.
The outer limits of human achievement.
That dumbass Tennessee owner group, they fire the GM, they fire Vrabel. They hire this guy. And Rand Carthon. They fire him. They've had 4 firings in 2 years.
What an amazing! We need to look up.
They should have Vivek Ranadabe as their minority owner. Get him in there.
Shots there.
He could own a piece of the Titans.
That's disrespectful because Sacramento, at least, they were lighting the beam just a couple years ago. It wasn't that long ago.
They were like 6 months.
Yeah, but that was a good team, and they took the Warriors to 7 games. Like that, when's the last? Tennessee was the last good when Mike fucking Vrabel was the head coach.
Yeah, they went 12-5 with Mike Vrabel.
Yeah, good head coach. Yeah, this decade.
Speaking of the Titans, Pats Titans. It's in Tennessee. It's the first game after a fired coach. And it's been Drake May National Appreciation Week.
On the Ringer for sure.
What do you mean on the Ringer? On everywhere. Watch ESPN. I had
Jesus Christ.
I flew to Boston on Wednesday and I had ESPN without the sound, just on the TV, and it was 17 Drake May segments. I mean, these advanced stats for him are unbelievable. Why are you so?
Fine.
Hey, listen, I'm sorry you got the wrong quarterback from the draft, and then he's 2 years older, and that he's not as good as Drake May.
Let's see the Patriots in the AFC Championship game, then we can have that conversation.
Okay, fair enough. Thunderstorms and wins for this game, and yet I am not deterred. I think the Pats have to be in a parlay with us.
I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I want nothing to do with it. I'm literally in the alt spread market right now for that game on the idea that Vrabel would like to win by 20 or more points. And if you want to lay...
Oh, you mean like a pour it on game?
Yeah, pour it on game. Why wouldn't he pour it on? But here's the problem. It is the new coach situation, which is not favorable.
That didn't work. Didn't work last year.
I'm just saying in general.
I think we've been 0-2 with the new coaches last year.
Favorable situation. But the thing that
they're terrible. Tennessee's terrible. They're terrible.
The New England Patriots put the fucking ball on the ground 5 times against the Pittsburgh Steelers. The New England Patriots beat the crap out of the Steelers up and down the field, but put the goddamn ball on the ground. I just am not there yet altogether. I can't trust the team. Well, I will put a small bet on.
Fortunately for me, I have 2 picks that I get to make myself. I get 2.
This is true.
We split 2 and you get 1.
You're right. You are the boss.
You didn't even make a case against that. You're just like, I don't know. They put the ball on the ground 5 times a month ago.
Do that.
Congrats.
They did that.
Did you feel like Packers Cardinals should be in any sort of parlay or tease?
No,
Packers -6.5 in Arizona.
No
Marvin Harrison.
No,
I'm assuming because he had a concussion. 3rd string running backs for Arizona. Maybe Jacoby Brissett again.
They showed some life against the Colts. Now, what that tells you is some more about the Colts, which we'll get to soon enough, than about the Cardinals. But the Cardinals are playing. You know what I mean? Like with the Green Bay team is too schizophrenic for me. They left the back door open. I mean, we were almost in a situation where Joe Flacco was going to have the ball in the 4th quarter with a chance to either tie or take the lead. Come on,
they do that?
That's at home. That's at Lambeau. I don't trust Green Bay yet. I'm telling you right now, just for you, I am going to play the New England Patriots -19.5. Available on the FanDuel Sportsbook. This is why I'm playing it at +420. The kids know what that means. +420.
Can we start a new segment with FanDuel called Runway Bets? Airplane Runway Bets? That's one of those that I wouldn't do until the guy's like, please shut down your phones. We're about to take off. Please make sure your belts are fastened. I'm like, oh my God, I got to bet the Pats +420. Let me get this off. Hold on, pilot. Let's take a break and then we'll talk about the games that we love. All right, this is interesting. So we didn't talk about beforehand which ones we liked. You said you liked 3 games. Have any of them come up with? Was Saints one of the games?
Saints was one of them, yes.
Okay, let's talk Saints then. Saints +5.5 at Chicago. Saints outdoors. Bears overvalued, so those things cancel each other out. Bears defense 32nd yards per play, 31st against the run. They have no pass rush whatsoever, and a pretty lucky win against your dumb team last week with your stupid turnovers.
More
we
than
watched
pretty
it together.
lucky. The effing Washingtons fumbled the ball at midfield with 3 minutes left in the game on a third and short with a chance to just win the effing football game.
Right.
The goddamn Bears have won 2 straight games by the score of 25-24, 1 point. And both of them have been these preposterous outcomes where the other team is like, would you like to win a game this season? So dumb. I'm so upset with it. But 5.5.
You know what's funny? They always talk about turnover regression and regression on fourth down, all this stuff. And you had all these amazing stats last year.
Right.
And we're watching in real time this season, the regression just flip. Like last year, 3rd and 3 from midfield with a chance to put the game away. You would have taken 2 chances,
just run it,
put it away.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know what the difference is this year.
The offensive line isn't as good. There's no receivers.
Right, no McLaurin.
Right. So that's the difference. And Jaden had a bad game.
All right. So what's your case for this Saints plus 5.5?
It's a ridiculous number. It's the Bears. The Bears is the case. Like 5.5. What are we talking about? If you wanted to say the Bears at home, by 2.5 or something, some reasonable number, less than a field goal. But this is based on priors that don't exist this season. The Saints are averaging nearly 5 yards per play on the road against good teams, against Seattle and Buffalo. They did it against New England. This is the easiest defense that the Saints will have confronted by far, by a long shot. And, the Saints have better net yards per play. There's a whole bunch of stats that just support the idea. We're not saying that the Saints are good. They're competent, though. They're playing hard. And we're seeing in front of us Rattler growing more and more comfortable, even if they end up in a game script where the weather is going to really mess with this. I'd much rather have the Saints offense in bad weather than the Bears offense in bad weather. Bears can't run the football. The Bears got lucky with a wheel route swing pass to goddamn DeAndre Swift against my Washington team, where Quan Martin thought he was playing two-hand touch. He two-hand touched him on the sideline and then run 55 yards for a touchdown. That was the game-deciding goddamn touchdown. I am not a believer in this Bears team. Give me all the 5.5 points, and I'll probably play New Orleans on the money line as well.
It's a great case. I'll add this. New Orleans, they lose 20-13 in week 1 to Arizona, right? First week, they actually were a little more competitive than I think people realized. And Cardinals went up early, and the Saints were coming back trying to win.
There was wide receiver with the ball in his hands in the end zone with 13 seconds left for the Saints. It just didn't stay in his hands. The ball fell out of his hands, but they were about to tie that game up.
49ers week 2, lose by 5, another respectable effort. They get killed by the Seahawks in Seattle in week 3. That's a good defense game.
Turnovers. That game was all turnovers. Their net yards were fine.
At Buffalo, hung around the entire game.
Whole game.
And I watched that game and had that game on and was shocked how they were able to get first downs and just kind of hang around, stay in. They beat the Giants 26-14. Last week against my team, 25-19. We watched together. Some awful calls, some of the worst calls ever. And multiple times, Pat's guys were wide open down the field. But they pressured May. They were around him the whole game. They moved the ball. Rattler was okay. They had a chance to win that game. So their schedule has been pretty good. They haven't played a shit team yet, unless you count the Giants. And I don't think the Giants are a shit team. They're not one of the 5 worst teams.
No, they're not.
I agree with you. I think this line is too high. That's why I had it marked down.
The other thing that I like, and I'm tracking now that we're enough weeks in, I'm looking at the allocation of tickets because the public is getting annihilated. So I just want directionally to have some validation, some confirmation. Right now, 60% is on Chicago. That's on the FanDuel Sportsbook. If you go under their stats thing, 60% of tickets on Chicago. So directionally, that makes me feel good.
One of the most fun is taking a team right after they looked awesome on a Monday night game.
Right.
And also, Aikman was really hard on Caleb Williams in that game, and it turned into a story. But I don't know. I stand with Troy Aikman.
And I mean, the Saints are going to play zone coverage, and the weather's going to be bad. Let's see it. Let's see it, Caleb. I'm rooting for Caleb. Went to my high school.
Can we talk Panthers Jets? Was that one of your 3?
It was not.
Panthers
tic-tac.
-1.5 at the Jets. Tic-tac game.
Yeah.
And I'll admit, Bryce Young on the road has been admittedly rough. It hasn't been great. It's been a home away situation with them. At home, they've been good. Panthers finally with some skill position guys. Defense not terrible. 4th against the run. 6th first downs allowed. Jets defense 32nd forced turnovers. Something's got to give with them and Bryce Young on the road. Panthers defense 9th against the run, and their issue is pass defense. The Jets don't have Garrett Wilson, and we're already 32nd out of all the teams in passing success, every metric ever.
Yes.
So there's two things. One would be you could say, well, if the Jets don't win this one, they might not win this year. Like, this is a nice spot for them. The other one is like, maybe there's something here with Carolina. Like, to get over the hump, they'd be 4-3 after this game. We could do the, whoa, oh my God, the Panthers are 4-3. I think this is going to be Justin Fields' last start ever.
Well, do we know for sure that he's starting? Have they announced
He
it?
might have already had his last start ever last week.
It was up in the air. I thought the news reports were suggesting that Tyrod might be the starter.
Great.
There's some news out there that suggests that.
The Jets are terrible. And I thought Denver, we watched that game together too. If Bo Nix slides in the first half over the marker, I just think Denver wins by 30. This feels like it just boozed the whole thing. Anyway, I like the Panthers. So you're not as enthused.
Just because, I mean, let them show us. Let them go win a game on the road. Just show us that you can do it.
Well, we need 5 picks.
I don't care who, it's I don't like going up against a team that hasn't won yet, even in the completely depleted state that the Jets are in, and the head coach, he will soon enough again be a defensive coordinator.
I like when Aaron Glenn's already doing the I watched this with Dan Campbell. It takes a while to build a house and doing that whole thing. It's like, you know what else would help build the house? Calling timeouts for the end of the first half.
A little foundation. Yeah. Using the right materials.
Some game management maybe helps the house.
Construction manager. Yeah. Some of those things could help.
Was Vikings Eagles one of your games?
I gave it a good, long, hard look.
Well, let's give it a hard look now. Vikings +2.5 at home against the Eagles, who don't have Mitchell, a cornerback.
Right.
Probably don't have Dickerson. And there's like a million pieces you can find online about how different their offensive line is this year than last year. Carter playing hurt or not playing. Their best guy. They're night and day when he's not out there. Zadarius Smith just retired.
Yeah.
They have no pass rush anymore. This is their top 3 pass rushers are now out. And hurting a cornerback against Jefferson Addison. I don't love that. I assume it's Wentz. I don't mind Wentz against a really bad defense. But the Eagles, the real thing for me, I think you could say the Eagles have a below average defense so far this year. I think that's fair. They're somewhere in like if you have four tiers of defense, they're in the 3rd tier. They're not bottom tier, but 3rd tier. Their offensive stats are unbelievably bad. And they back up what we've been watching, which has been a big shit sandwich. 29th against pass, 25th against the rush, 28th yards per play, 31st tackles for loss. And they're against this Minnesota defense, 2nd versus pass, 2nd on 3rd down, 3rd QB hurries. They have Cashman and Van Ginkel coming back this week. They're home. They're underdogs. And I don't understand the line.
What is the line now?
The line is Vikings +2.5.
Yeah, we would be playing it at Vikings +2.5. So here's the problem for me. This is why I was stuck on it. The Vikings haven't really done much in terms of like inside the numbers. They're 0.4 net yards per play better against Chicago, who they came back late to win, against Atlanta with Penix.
Are you going full nerd on me right now?
Well, I'm just like looking at this. Like they have Atlanta, Cincinnati, Pittsburgh on a neutral field, and Cleveland. Right? This is like these games, these teams that they played under these circumstances, not really blowing me away with this Minnesota team. Now, you would say, well, Cashman and Van Ginkel, missed a chunk of a significant chunk of those games.
Yes, they did. They were missing the two linebackers who were the fuel to their team.
And the reason to be bullish on the Vikings is Jalen Hurts has been horrific against two-man and against zone defense. Absolutely terrible. And the Minnesota Vikings will blitz the hell out of him. But, the only thing you have to say to yourself is we're betting on Carson Wentz, or have they said for sure that it's Wentz?
Can I offer you this? I just looked this up on FanDuel. Vikings up to +3.5. Chiefs money line -120, right at the cutoff of what we can do for a parlay. And now we're over the field goal hump with that.
Yeah, I don't hate that. I don't hate that because it still permits the idea that the Eagles win a close one. I don't like the defense, the matchup for the Eagles in any way, shape, or form.
Chiefs money with Vikes +3.5. Okay.
We have two comebacks by Minnesota that kind of have saved their season. They came back against Chicago in that fourth quarter, and they came back in the final, minute against Cleveland.
But we didn't have Addison the first three games.
Mm-hmm.
Now they have the two receivers with Hawkinson.
Okay.
I think they can run on them. I actually like Jordan Mason. I think he's been good. I have one of my fantasy teams.
We also like O'Connell off the bye, right? Yeah. With a chance who's got a long look at this Philadelphia Eagles.
The Eagles have been telling us who they are for 6 weeks, and they really could be 2-4.
Okay. I kind of like it.
Vikes +3.5, Chiefs money -120.
So that's one of our bets. Put that in the book.
I marked it down.
Okay.
2 more games. Chargers Colts. Did that one intrigue you?
Oh, it sure did. Yes,
Chargers -1.5 favorites at home against the Colts. The Colts have major cornerback injury stuff. They're just they've been ravaged. So there's that. We watched them last week play Arizona. And Jacoby Brissett, who was not a playable quarterback last year for New England, I think he went 27 for 44. He threw for over 300 yards. There was a quarterback controversy in Arizona after the game. And the reason he did so well was the Colts defense was awful. And if you look at it, they beat Brissett by 4. They beat Geno. They beat Cam Ward. They beat Bo Nix in a game that they should have lost, that stupid leverage play, and they beat 2 in week 1. The Chargers it seems like Joe Alt's coming back for left tackle.
Oh.
Seems like he did the limited practice, might be back, and then Khalil Mack might be back as well. And it's funny. I started the week really liking the Colts and thinking they were underrated, but these defensive injuries comes down to this for me, Joe House. This just to me feels like a Justin Herbert is awesome game. And we're going to find out if Johnston is playing, but I think he is. He's been limited practice. But if Brissett can do that against the Colts defense, this just feels like a Justin Herbert. Just take us home. All we need to do is win by 3, Justin Herbert. Just take us home.
Yeah.
Add this to your MVP candidacy. I'll ride you. And also, should the Colts really be 6-1? That seems crazy.
Yeah. Good. We're on the same page here. All the reasons you just listed, that Colts secondary without Charvarius Ward, who has been incredible. So
he got concussed before the game.
Yeah.
Yesterday. It's a week-long injury anyway, but I think he's had multiple concussions.
Yep.
So I don't think we'll be seeing him. Yeah, they have no D-backs.
The other thing I love is that the public is on the Colts right now, 59% on the Colts. In this now, we wanted to get to 60%. So go ahead, public, please. Hey, the Colts. The Chargers barely beat the Dolphins last week, so let me have the Colts on the road. Okay, please do that. Let's get this nice 60% for the public.
Chargers top 6 against the pass. So the thing that would worry me in this game is they run all over the Chargers. Taylor just goes nuts.
Sure. Yeah.
By the way, they've played in L.A. already. Weirdly, they played the Rams in L.A. So they did the SoFi double. I don't know if that's good or bad.
And lost close.
Yeah, but
do we really believe that Indiana Jones is going to be as
6-1?
Yeah, and as triumphant as he's been thus far.
Also,
Not one
like,
mistake.
let me ask you this. How many games in a row can Daniel Jones play before just having an awful game? Before just submitting a shit sandwich? Like, what's a realistic number? Even if we were like the best case version of a Daniel Jones season.
I mean, I have my right hand up. I'm ready to see it. This is the game.
We've gone through 6 games where he hasn't been terrible in any of the games.
He has not been. He's been very good.
Where we haven't seen oh man, he's just walking off the sidelines with that weird look on his face.
Chargers
right.
-1.5.
Man, the Chargers will be 5-2 if they win this.
They will have earned it too.
I think if they win this, first of all, it completely changes the complexion of Texans Seahawks on Monday night, because if the Texans can steal that one, all of a sudden they're back. Isn't that right? But I feel like we're going to be flipping our opinion on the AFC South all season.
Probably.
All right. I saved the best for last. I knew this would be one of your games. There's just no doubt. We have the Cleveland Browns favored by 2.5 against the Miami Dolphins. The weather report, I don't think ominous is a strong enough word. Here's what we know we have. Definite rainstorm. The mile an hours for the winds, they said conservative 15 to 20, possibility of 50 to 60.
Oh.
The temperature is not going to be that low. So with the Tua thing, it's like when Tua and the Dolphins under 40 degrees, Dolphins in any scenario under 40 degrees, like just an automatic smash. But Tua in bad weather. And then on top of it, their defense is 32nd against the rush. So if this is just it's bad weather, let's see who can run the ball. You have on the one hand a defense can't stop the rush. On the other hand, you have a Cleveland defense that's third against the run and is good, even though they didn't look great last week against Pittsburgh.
The most important thing by a long shot is that it's the Cleveland defense at home.
Right.
The Cleveland defense at home is magnificent. And, they took a season off last season, but the season before that, when they went into the playoffs with Joe Flacco as their quarterback, a dominant defense at home. We are right back in that saddle again, a dominant defense against the run in particular. And Tua not being able to throw the football in these weather conditions. Oh, the fact
only
that
only their third Browns home game this year too. And you're right, they're a completely different team when they're home with the defense. Go ahead.
Well, all I was going to say is I forgot what I was going to say.
Oh, I interrupted.
The Gabriel part too. Like, remember the situations that he was put into as a starting quarterback. He went up against Minnesota with the blitz defense in Flores. Welcome to the NFL. And then they lost a day. They traveled from Europe back to the United States to play Mike Tomlin at Pittsburgh. So, I think this is his first real week to
real
be
normal
with his
game.
Yeah, right.
I don't think he's very good.
I don't think so either. I'm not making.
But you know who I know
is
isn't very good? The Miami Dolphins. So how about this, House? They have the 32nd rush defense, right? Last in the league, and we have some bad rush defenses. They played Kamani Vidal last week in the Chargers. They played Rico Dowdle. They basically turned Rico Dowdle's career around. They played the fucking Jets. They played my team that rushed for 22 for 45 with their 2 starting running backs last week. We can't run the ball at all. I'm making up Derrick Henry and Alvin Kamara trades with my friends. And then they played James Cook and Taylor, who are 2 of the best. But if 4 of your 6 games against those 4 teams and you're 32nd against the rush, you can't stop the rush. So this could be the Judkins game of all time, would be my guess.
Let's go.
This is it. This is the,
load up.
Browns -2.5 feels like a miracle. And I think
don't understand why it stayed at 2.5.
This is my favorite game of the year.
I feel the same way. And you know
I
what?
love this game. I can't wait to watch Miami shivering cold with the wind. Tua and Myles Garrett coming after Tua in horrible weather. Like, this just feels like a fucking godsend.
Yeah. All over it. I wish we could bet this 5 times. Let's enter this into the contest. It says Browns. I wish we could do that.
Today's Ringer 107 brought to you by FanDuel. We are 14-16 for the season, but we had a lot of momentum from last week. And we've had a lot of bad luck this year. And I feel like our luck is starting to shift. We have 5 picks. House has the first one. Saints +5.5 in Chicago. You thought this line was 3 points too high. You don't like the Bears. You think the Saints are Maybe a 5.5 on the frisky scale. What else am I missing?
It's time to pour some settle down juice on the Bears.
Well, is there any bitterness that they beat your team last week
Yes,
after you just kept turning the ball over and letting them hang around?
Yes, okay. Yes. There's a lot of bitterness.
The Bears have won a couple dumb games. Anyway, I think this is a 3-point game and maybe the Saints can win. I'm with you on that one. Next one, we both like Chargers, Colts. Chargers -1.5.
Fine.
The Justin Herbert MVP game. Let's see it. Colts defense ravaged with secondary injuries. Yeah. Let's go, Justin Herbert. Show us why you should be in this conversation with Baker Mayfield and Patrick Mahomes and my guy, Drake May.
Outrageous.
And maybe Josh Allen. I forgot about him. Don't want to forget about Josh Allen. But yeah, the Colts, this feels like a bad spot for them. Second LA trip for them already. We're waiting for the Daniel Jones. Don't forget that he's not a mortal lock to be good all the time guy.
We are.
Next one, Panthers -1.5 against the Jets. This is my pick. Panthers -1.5. We're breaking the seal off of Bryce Young and the Panthers skill guys. Rico Dowdle, Ted McMillan, Jalen Coker from Holy Cross coming back. Think they can move the ball. Listen, we've said the Panthers, only bet on them at home. I think this is when we finally get some growth. We get some stories on Sunday night. Panthers finally won one on the road where they look like maybe, by the way, they could be 4-3 after this. And I think the Jets are just reprehensibly bad.
They might be.
Garrett Wilson. The way to beat the Panthers, throw the ball on the Jets, 30-second pass offense, no Garrett Wilson. Sounds awesome. Next one is our parlay. Chiefs money line against the Raiders. Free to throw that one in. It's -700. Pats money line against the Titans. Callahan tire fires no more. Pats on the road. Vrabel all-time revenge game. House loves this for Pats -19.5 as an airplane runway bet.
Plus 420.
So -19.5 plus 420. Anyway, Chiefs money line, Pats money line. We're going to bring the Vikings against the Smoke and Mirrors Eagles up to +7.5 at home.
Love it.
We think they can actually win the game.
We sure do.
But Chiefs money line, Pats money line, Vikings +7.5 against a Eagles team that has not looked awesome.
Right.
And then last but not least, our favorite pick in 7 weeks.
Literally.
Cleveland Browns -2.5 at home against the Dolphins. Thunderstorms. Wind estimated between worst case scenario, 50 miles an hour. Scariest scenario, 60 miles an hour. And Tua and the Dolphins and DJ Mikey Mack.
Yeah, mixtape
just trying to dial it up with their 30-second run defense as the Browns run all over them. Their defense goes nuts. And we like the Browns at home.
We sure do. Quinshon Judkins breakout game, more breakout game in that defense against this.
All sounds great.
Let's go, man.
That's today's Ringer 107. It's brought to you by FanDuel Odds. Subject to change. House, you did so well. I want to pour you a glass of dessert wine and then charge you $500 for it.
Don't say, well, that feels like a bargain. 500? You're only charging me 500? That's a bargain.
Maybe I went low. House.
Hey.
I'll see you next week. Good luck in the Ringer 107.
Good luck to both of us.
All right, that's it for the podcast. Thanks to Kyle Mann and House and Eduardo and Gahal. Enjoy the weekend. I'm going to be back on Sunday night with the Cuz talking NFL. See you then. Must be 21 plus and present in select states for Kansas in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, or 18 plus and present in D.C., Kentucky, or Wyoming. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit rg-help.com. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut or mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts or call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York.